Aus dem Jahre 2014. Seit 2014 ist er auf dem PDC-Circuit unterwegs, hat einige Turniere gewinnen können, hat Premier League gespielt, ist die aktuelle Nummer 21 der Welt. Die Rede ist von The Bullet, Stephen Bunting.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a winner, winner, bird, bird, bird. The bird's a winner, winner, bird, bird, bird. The bird's a winner, winner, bird, bird.
Ladies and Gentlemen, ein toller Moment hier in der Lokhalle von Göttingen, denn jetzt wartet die Nummer 1 der Welt. 14 Turniere hat er alleine in diesem Jahr 2017 gewonnen. Er ist der aktuelle Weltmeister. Herzlich willkommen, MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen!
One more place up for grabs in the quarterfinals here at the European Darts Trophy in Göttingen. It will go to either Stephen Bunting or the world #1 and the reigning world champion Michael van Gerwen. Now, Bunting yesterday in his 6-4 win over Rene Idams, he averaged almost 100, and his first 3 darts average was the highest of the weekend, 139.6. You suspect if he pulls off figures like that again and puts van Gerwen under pressure from the word go, Paul Nicholson, he may well have a chance, because Van Gerwen yesterday was not emphatic in his opening win over Zoran Lerchbacher, averaging only 91.4.
Yeah, what Stephen did yesterday is exactly what he's got to do today. He's got to get out of the blocks. He's got to stay with Van Gerwen if he puts a characteristic spurt in. But yeah, Michael van Gerwen wasn't at his best yesterday, but if you look back through the history books, you do tend to find that he does enough on a Saturday, and then he turns up a different beast on a Sunday.
First leg, it's Stephen to throw first. Game on.
Michael van Gerwen is the defending champion here at the European Darts Trophy. Took the honours last year when he beat Mencior Sulovic 6-5 in the final. And he will not face, if he gets through to the final again, he will not face
140.
the world #2, Peter Wright. Wright is out of the way, but still many dangers lurking in the draw, including Stephen Bunting here. And Bunting, we mentioned it yesterday, didn't we, Paul? That, he is a man who is resurgent once again. He's showing signs of life once again as well. In 4 recent Players' Championships,
140.
He's made a final, a semi-final and a quarter-final. Ignore the last 2 events of the year. I think he'd like to do that. There was a run to the last 16 in the 19th Players' Championship as well, when he lost to Steve Lennon. And all in all, he just looks to be in a better place right now as well.
Yeah, I've just been in the practice room having a chat with a few people and had a couple of quick words with Stephen. He just looks like he's in a better mood when preparing. He looked up for this to me.
56. Michael Uruguay, 87.
Now he's got to rely on Van Gerwen missing the 87. 20 for Bull. Or that for double 5. Ominous, because the 60 was right in the middle, and so was the double 5. That's a very good start from MVG. He did say it. He turns up, and he's up for it on Sunday. Sunday is a working day for the world #1. And that's a perfect start.
100.
That said, though, when he appeared in the final European Tour events of last year in Hildesheim, he was dumped out at this stage by Darrell Gurney. But, well, we said Bunting just simply had to race out of the blocks and put the pressure on from the word go, and he didn't really do that there in his opening game. It was on the Bunting throw as well. Van Gerwen with the early break, and not the start that Stephen Bunting would have wanted. However, early days.
Yeah, when Gurney beat Van Gerwen 12 months ago in Hildesheim, we tend to forget that Gurney had an injured hand at the time as well. He was, every time he took a leg, he was celebrating with his left hand because he was using all of his gumption, every single ounce of energy from his right hand on the darts, and he couldn't risk celebrating with a fist or a swipe, because he could have injured himself. But Van Gerwen, what a start.
Yeah, 201 from 9 darts for Bunting.
89.
Nowhere near the 139.6 he averaged with his first 3 darts yesterday. Making inroads here, but it might be a little too late for Stephen Bunting.
32.
He's down to a finish of 120, but Van Gerwen on double 16.
The leg is Stephen to throw first.
Just crushing the hopes of Bunting once again, 2-0. Now, these two, of course, know each other inside out. They've played many times before, and you don't have to go too far back to find the last time Bunting beat Michael Van Gerwen. He did so last year in the final of a Players' Championship event at the start of 2016. Just the one previous meeting
180
on the European Tour. And that was in Hildesheim 2 years ago. 6-0 that day to MVG. Kicking off with a 180 there to set the tone in this third leg again.
100.
He's in again. He's in again. He's not in for the 6th one.
5 perfect darts for Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, these guys are making it hard for the referee as well as, you know, Michael Free's opponent. Because if you want to be a referee, you've got to be able to say these words very, very fast. 180. Michael Lee require 32 game shot in the third leg. Michael Van Gerwen, or second leg even. Well, Kirk Bevins, our referee up there, the Kirkulator, countdown champion. He had to say that very loud and very fast. So if you want to be a referee as good as him, you've got to be able to do that.
100. Michael Lee require 46.
There he is, the train spotting genius that is Kirkulator.
He's in the right neck of the woods here as
on the
well.
third leg.
Talking of being in the right neck of the woods, Van Gerwen once again finding the required double, and almost in the blink of an eye he is 3-0 to the good here.
$140.
Well, we mentioned those 5 perfect darts for Michael Van Gerwen. He has produced 9 dart legs already this year. He had 2 in one match against Ryan Murray at the UK Open qualifiers.
140.
He had another one against Robert Thornton in the final of Players' Championship 9. He is no stranger
55.
to spectacular darts, and of course he is the world's best by a long, long way.
Right now, his average is rather good.
When you say rather good, I would say in excess of 120 is
100.
Yeah.
pretty exceptional.
Yeah, he's about 118 at the minute.
Just dipped ever so slightly, but he's got chances here to
136.
nudge it back northwards again. Aided by the fact he is 3 from 4 on his doubles as well so far. That's helped him keep up the average.
180.
That'll do Bunting's average the world of good.
170.
Bunting himself is on 103 or so.
134.
134.
Sometimes when you're playing this well, it's just predictable darts. Stephen Bunting has done nothing wrong in this leg. He's only going to get 1 shot. He's going to get none.
Well, that
65.
double 8.
Michael require 36.
So,
game shot on the 4th leg.
an unfortunate slip for Stephen Bunting, but
Stephen to
it's
throw
pretty
first.
unforgivable as well.
Game
You
on.
simply can't afford to give Michael Van Gerwen gifts like that. It was absolutely gift-wrapped for him, and he leads 4-0.
The breakdown of legs for Van Gerwen so far.
59.
It makes for one of those head gestures where you just shake it in awe of the standard.
180.
Do you think that Michael Van Gerwen is trying to tell the rest of the field that you can't beat me when I'm playing this well?
Well, it was Van Gerwen, of course, who recorded an average of 123.4, the highest in the history of televised darts in that win over Michael Smith in the Premier League in Aberdeen. The 9-dart dream is dead once again for the time being.
And of course, you mentioned earlier, Rob, that Michael Van Gerwen is assured of being the #1 seed in Hasselt.
Yep. After Peter Wright's departure earlier today, look at that. Just look at that. Nice sequential set of numbers there.
140.
And he could be on for a 12-dart leg here as well if he gets his act together here.
Well, he needs a treble.
60.
Well, you can still get a 12-dart leg. You just got to have a 164 checkout. Small matter of 2 treble 19s and a bullseye. And he will have to go for it because Stephen is going to leave a finish of his own. Brilliant darts from Stephen Bunting.
164.
Well, he's not had a dart at a double yet.
41.
But he might get one here.
100.
Should have had one in the last leg. He will admit that. Will he get one this time?
No. Well, not for the time being, anyway.
Michael Uruguay, 123.
Van Gerwen looking at 1, 2, 3. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Bullseye.
Michael Van Gerwen.
98. Stephen Uruguay, 16. Game shot on the
And
fifth
with
leg.
his first
Stephen
starts at a double, Stephen Bunting takes out double 8. And he gets a leg on the board, but he's still a long way as trip here. There we go. He's in rude health at the moment, is Michael Van Gerwen. Look at that, Bunting averaging over 100. He's 1 from 1 on his doubles. But every sign is that he's on his way out here. Michael Van Gerwen looks to be in the zone today, doesn't he? This for the right to meet Joe Cullen in the quarterfinals. 7 o'clock tonight.
Joe Cullen, some player right now. In the same management stable as Stephen Bunting, of course, under the wing of John Archer. When you're in this position against Van Gerwen, when he's having one of those games so far, you do feel relaxed because you feel like there's very little you can do to get over the top of him. So you just got to enjoy playing the game and see where it takes you. I remember playing Van Gerwen in the Perth Masters a few years ago, and I was 7-0 down in a first to 8 race, and there was a break after 7 legs. So I went into the break 7-0 down. Someone whispered at the averages. I was on 103, 104. He was on 125. And I just started to laugh. And then I came back after the break, won 3 legs in a row, and then he beat me at 3. But it was a thoroughly enjoyable experience. But if Stephen Bunting can steal this leg on a 118 checkout, he'll just start to make Michael think this could be a catalyst right here.
Yeah, he's 2 breaks down, but he might get one back here. Tops.
78.
Chance goes begging for Bunting.
60.
First missed dart at a double. Van Gerwen looking at tops now for a 5-1 lead. Double 10.
50. Stephen Uruguay, 40.
Just derailed here ever so slightly is Michael Van Gerwen. Bunting with another chance for a break. Needs to take it. Needs to find double 10.
30.
And once more, Michael Van Gerwen is gift-wrapped an opportunity here by Stephen Bunting. Double 5.
Game shot on the sick leg.
For a 5-1 lead.
7-legged
Just
Stephen
feel with those
first. Game on.
previous shots at double for Michael, there was a little bit of movement in the body when he was throwing them. They were quite far away for his standard. But the double 5 shots are much better. The stance of Van Gerwen, for me, is the main basis behind the brilliance.
125.
He may lean forward quite aggressively, but his left foot, which is his way of anchoring himself, his center of gravity and everything is just so perfect.
140.
Doesn't move at all when he's throwing well. It's all
96.
from a low position of the right shoulder, and he just throws upwards. And sometimes we do see in sport that the unconventional can be brilliant. Phil Taylor's the greatest example of that, because his action is so unconventional it's not even funny.
$140.
It could all be over in the next 60 seconds. But then again, if Stephen can keep pressurizing him, you just never know.
Maybe he spoke just a tad too soon there. Well, he went for it, didn't he?
63. Stephen Uruguay, 64.
But missed it by a long, long way, and Bunting now looking at 64. to get a second leg on the board, and he's now looking at double eights. Double four has to go,
56.
and that could well be that. Michael van Gerwen 77 points away from a place in the quarterfinals.
57.
It's on hold once more.
Stephen, you require 8.
Yeah, double four for Stephen. Stay in the match to start the big comeback.
Well, that just about sums up Stephen Bunting's afternoon, doesn't it, really? Michael van Gerwen surely now will take this out. Maybe he won't.
Game
but
shot.
double five comes to his rescue
Michael
once
Van Gerwen.
again, just as it did in the previous leg. 6-1, an emphatic scoreline, and at times it was emphatic stuff. The average was sky high over the course of the first 4 legs. And even though Michael van Gerwen tailed off slightly over the last 3 legs of that one, he was far too strong for Stephen Bunting in this last 16 encounter. Michael van Gerwen will be back for the quarterfinals later. 12 and 13 dart legs, the order of the day early on. A couple of blemishes in legs 6 and 7, but he gets there, he gets over the line with a 103 average, or there or thereabouts.
Really well,
Michael van Gerwen with his assessment of his performance.
That's a fantastic big game, but I
And
won
we'll
the
be
game,
back
that's
with
the
you
most
at 7.
important thing, and now I need to make sure I get prepared for tonight's game, and I feel well. I only need to make sure I'm going to do it later on, and that's all.
For me, it's always something like it's sending a sign to all the great players here. You are there, you're ready. You know, it's like a government declaration, something like that.
I'm ready for everyone. That's how it is. Of course, you still have to perform. You still have to play well, and I think I showed some good darts in the beginning of this game, and I will be ready tonight. No worries.
Joe Cullen is the one. He's playing pretty good this year.
Yeah, but we're going to see if he also can do it later on also against me. That's a little bit different. He played now Alan Noyes and the other guy, but now the pressure comes on his shoulders, and we're going to see he's going to keep his confidence and his behavior and everything in that game, and could be totally different. You never know, but there's still a long time to go, so no worries.
That's right. Great to see you later again. Thank you very much. Michael van Gerwen. Er sagt...